Well, I was just talking about how this is John McCain territory out here in Arizona, and how there's military-grade weapons that are being used to brainwash the American people. So the same psychological operations that we used to use to manipulate elections in Saudi Arabia and the Middle East and the Asian Pacific Islands. Again, that's not right. That's unethical to do. We shouldn't be manipulating anybody's elections, but we all know we did it, right? We have been doing it. So John McCain in 2008 started introducing military-grade weapons to manipulate other people's elections through Google searches, through Twitters, through communications, through what people were stimulated with through online searches, and tunneling people into certain chat rooms and kind of extremist type of conversations. So when they wanted to go ahead and put a mullah in charge, they calculated with programming predictive analytics to see how we could put this person in power with losing less life, right? Because that was the whole purpose of manipulating these elections, because we can lose less life. But basically, they were trying to war game and computer program how to get certain people into power and how you manipulate it. So in 2008, what John McCain did is he said, oh, these weapons are so good overseas, why don't we use it in my election? So in 2008, John McCain started using IIA operations, which stands for Interactive Internet Activities. And that is what psychological operations are being used to manipulate the American people. So in 2008, John McCain started using that to manipulate and help people jump on board to his campaign. Well, obviously it didn't work well enough, but in 2012, what he did, the great rhino that he is that he gave the keys to the kingdom, so to speak, that's what the techie and the CIA call it, to Barack Obama, so that he could use that same brainwashing software in this 2012 campaign to win that against Mitt Romney. Okay? So here in Arizona, this is the hotbed and the source of military-grade brainwashing on the American people, and I am almost 100% positive that Arizona is the ground zero for how and where all that started, still until this day. So again, military-grade operations, psychological warfare. This is the same Tory Mars, Patrick Berge design. Hammer and Scorecard, the McEnany stuff is all older version. Patrick Berge admitted to me personally he built a system that's way farther beyond that. DARPA in 2012 was asking for these IIA operations that are working so well in homogeneous cultures like the Middle East and East Asia, where people are almost alike cultural, religious-wise, that they needed to use it on heterogeneous cultures, aka America, so to better put us into little compartments to brainwash us by packs and groups of people. Why do you think we're in such disarray today in 2021? Why do you think everybody is so confused and so broken apart? Because of the misinformation. It's not just the media, it's literally military-grade weapons being used to brainwash the American people. That is the source of the disinformation. If we look at the November 3rd election, all this brainwashing and psychological warfare is to create Trump as a racist, as an insurrectionist, right? Insurrection. Why? So he didn't call the Insurrection Act, right? So the Democrats were wargaming all this, and now we understand why all these audits and all these things are falling apart, because the mainstream media is actually literally working with not only our active duty military and our current Biden administration, they're working with the military-industrial complex to sabotage Trump's 2020 election, because once America realizes that the GOP is doing more than the Democrats to sabotage his campaign, we might actually be able to open our eyes and figure out it's actually our military and our current military-industrial complex that is actually sabotaging Trump's election. So the same people that, when Trump was in office, are the same one that stabbed him in the back and slit his throat and made sure that he lost the 2020 election. So our federal government is the enemy of the people. It's not just the mainstream media, but when you talk about the IIA operations, the military-grade psychological warfare, now it's the federal government, the media, and the military-industrial complex are the enemy of the people. The IIA is very important. It stands for Interactive Internet Activities. Look how like vanilla and simple and nothing harmless, nothing to see here. That is the most dangerous thing we could ever do, because it's called a fancy word for brainwashing. And that's where Ali Alexander from Stop the Steal got his start, was doing a lot of this stuff for the Lincoln Project overseas. You can go ahead and look at $500 million contracts that the Lincoln Project was getting to use these IIA operations overseas in the Middle East. And that's when they're the ones that helped John McCain do it here in America and perfect it. Hence the disarray and the sabotage of Trump's 2020 election. So if that explains, I know it's a lot, go back and listen to it, but we are literally experiencing military grade brainwashing here in America right now to this day, and there's our federal government that's in cahoots and working and colluding with big bank media, all mainstream media. They're owned by the same couple families, and we all know it. In America, we need to wake up as soon as we know.
What do we do?
So we have to be organic. We have to pick up the phone. We have to have normal conversations. We need to be meeting at bars. We need to be on the street. We need to stop being disillusioned and take everybody at face value. We have to vet people. You have to look at who these people are, who their backgrounds are. We can't just take all these Johnny-come-latelys at face value. We've been sabotaged by the celebrity politicians. We've been sabotaged by the celebrity lawyers and attorneys like Lin Wood and Sidney Powell. We're here. You're part of the problem and not the solution. So I think Americans need to lean on each other and stop waiting for somebody else to save them, because only you have the power to save yourself and your family.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't